Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. My name's Kirby. I'll be guiding you through your asana sadhana, wherever you may be, morning, evening. Happy to have you. I encourage you to have 2 blocks for today's practice. If you do not have blocks, find something with some steadiness, some firmness. That could be some really thick, big books. That could even be towels. You could roll them up like a little burrito shape. But find some things that you can really lower your body weight fully onto, okay? We'll be moving through a variance of asanas today. And in our practice, in our yoga practice, we can get very stuck in moving through shapes in their very traditional form. And this is beautiful, and this serves its purpose in preparing the body, targeting different parts of the body. Yes, and we get familiar, we get comfortable. But as humans do, we often overseek that comfortability, right? We get too comfortable. And in order for us to grow, in order for us to challenge ourselves, which does improve our awareness and our attention, we must refine or do things a little differently. And that pushes our edge, which thus makes us transform again and again and again. So this class gives you that opportunity to find a variance of asana that may leave you feeling like a whole new freaking yogi. Let's see. I'll have you start on your back, taking a block with you. You can just place it to the side as you roll on down, hugging your knees into your chest. Give yourself a few rocks forward and back along the length of your spine. And come on down. Plant the soles of your feet. Open your feet as wide as the mat. Let your knees knock in for constructive rest. Take 3 breaths. Letting out a sigh, an audible exhale. Don't be afraid to make noise. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling nose. Exhaling mouth. Allow for the dust to settle as you slowly transition to stillness. Witnessing the rise and the fall of the belly as the inhales, navel reaches up towards the heavens. The exhale, the navel draws towards the soil below you. Can you stretch and expand the belly up towards the sky? Draw the navel down, down, down towards the earth below. Start to walk your feet in, hips width distance. Lift your hips, take your block, place your sacrum on the top of the block. So I like to use lowest setting to start. You may use middle setting. So ideally that block is resting right under the top of the butt, so not the mid back. So right where the bottom vertebrae meets your glutes. You begin to feel that minute stretch at the top of the hips. For the next few breaths, stretch your arms up and back. Free up the chest. If you have asthma, take the biggest breath you have all day. Even if you don't have asthma, right here in this shape with the arms overhead, that simple switch of the body gives a variance to the shape which will give this shape a completely different sensation. So sometimes making those changes isn't this huge, grandiose, big, huge movement. It's a small micro adjustment that can shift and change really the whole experience. Gently release your arms back alongside your body. Lift your hips away from the earth, coming into bridge. So knees in line with hips. You can walk your heels slightly closer in, maybe even graze the heels with the fingertips. Squeeze your glutes as you pump the hips towards the sky. Exhale, one vertebrae down, down, down. Inhaling as you lift. Can you tap your left heel to your right hand under the body? Give it a little graze, a little tippy tap. Keep your hips lifted. Release that. Inhale to bridge pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, squeeze your glutes to rise. Tap your right foot to your left hand under the body. Yeah, good. Release that. Lift the hips. Exhale, lower the hips. Inhaling, realigning, bringing heels closer towards the body. Press your hips towards the sky, sternum back towards your face. Left foot taps right hand. Stay there. Can you find the hand in the foot? So hold on to it. And if it's not holding today, simply grazing. Begin to lower to outer left hip, twisting right thigh across your body. So you're keeping the connection of left foot to right hands, crossing right knee over the chest, and if foot and hand are simply reaching for one another but not quite touching, no worries. And if you're lost or confused, you're just twisting over to the left. In order for us to make change, we have to think differently. We have to shift our mind-body connection. And the good thing is as humans, we have neuroplasticity, meaning we can literally change the way that we think. Therefore, we can change the way we show up. So to unwind that, inhaling bridge pose, exhaling, lowering down. Inhaling, lifting right foot to left hand, lowering to outer right hip, crossing left thigh towards the right. So you can take your right hand to the top of left thigh as you crisscross. And if foot and hands aren't touching today, that's fine. No worries. Simply reaching for one another is enough. In those moments of stillness, you commit to ease. As much as left shoulder wants to be flying away from the mat, can you gently bring it back down towards the earth? Unwind that bridge pose, stamping both feet down. Take a lift. Exhale, lowering down. One more variation. Inhale, hips lift. Left foot to right hands. Come to outer left hip. Extend your right leg. Roll to your belly as left arm stretches back behind you. You're coming into a variation of bow pose. Kicking left foot into right hands. Begin to lift thigh. Maybe you lift your left shoulder, your left armpit, feeling the stretch along the top of your left leg, up the hip flexor, up the psoas. Can you lift a little bit higher? Feel the relationship of foot and hand. Exhaling, lowering down, rolling onto your back. Releasing that bridge pose. Exhale, lower down. One more, lift it up. Right foot to left hand, lower to outer right hip. Stretch your right arm behind you. As you roll to the belly, keeping the left hand with the right foot, press into the pelvic floor and lift right shoulder, right armpit, right thigh. Each breath takes you a baby bit higher. Breathing. Exhaling, coming on to the back. Woo, unwind it, lift the hips. Exhaling down, send your legs long, stretch your arms up and back. Full body stretch, deepest breath in. Expansive breath out. Hug your knees into your chest as you begin to rock along the length of the spine. Either rolling up to your seats or pressing up to your seats. Lift your way, crossing at the ankles. Take your hands down to your knees, making a diamond shape with the torso. Inhale to the top point of your diamond. Exhale, torso bumps to the right. Tap that right point of your diamond. The exhale draws you down towards the bottom point. As you begin to inhale, torso to the left, tap that left point of a diamond. All the way that inhale takes you back towards the top point. Continuing there, you can move through a more rigid 4-point motion. Exhaling for right and back. Inhaling left and forward. If a more fluid, more circular motion begins to arise in the body, you listen to the body. Follow its cues. Follow its curiosity. When we start to listen to our body on the mat, we have the awareness, the attention. That's really when we are able to listen to the yeses and the nos in our lives. And this lesson, I will tell you, is one of, I would say, the biggest lessons in our lifetime to learn. How the body signals before the mind can even comprehend what is right and what is wrong. Begin to reverse that. You can again take those points left, back, more robotically, mechanically, right, top. Or in time, maybe that moves more circularly. Come on, back to center. Take an inhale. Exhale. Stretch your arms overhead. Bring your thumb to the palm of the hand. Cover your forefingers over your thumb. Take an inhale. Exhale. Inhale halfway, Kapalabhati breath, sharp exhale, passive inhale. You'll feel the navel retract towards the spine. You'll hear the breath. You'll feel the breath. It's going to sound something like this. Spine is erect. Jaw is soft. Continue. Keep going. Breath, 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 breath. Take an inhale, thumb and index to touch overhead. Make a diamond shape. Hold the breath, hold the breath. Gaze up to the space between your eyebrows. Exhale, soft arms. Make your way to downward facing dog, coming forward to table or plank, tucking your toes, straightening through the arms, beginning by pedaling the feet as you press your armpits towards your thighs and your thighs towards the back of your mat. Finding a moment of stillness. Open your feet as wide as the mat, right? So here's the variance. Shorten your dog. Take your left hand towards the center of the mat. Right hand reaches for left shin, maybe left heel, somewhere along your left leg. Cupping the mat with your left hand as you spiral and gaze under your left armpit. Unwind that right hand to the center of the mat. Left hand reaches for somewhere along your right leg. And if that somewhere isn't happening, shorten your dog. Get as short as you need to connect with yourself. Giving yourself that roots to twist and revolve from the chest. Unwind that downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple forward, high plank. Stacking shoulders over wrists. Press your heels back, send your crown forward, squeeze your glutes, gently press away as you cup the mat. Drop your knees down, child's pose, sit back towards the heels. Walk your hands in, bring your fingertips behind you, puff up through your chest, press onto the shins, rise your hips, baby camel. Lowering down, hands plants, roll it forward into upward facing dog. Press into the tops of the feet, feel your quads engage, gazing over nose tip. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhale your right leg to the sky, point your toe. Notice if there's a micro bend in your right knee. Can you lengthen from the kneecap? Energy through the kneecap, energy through the arms. Start to pulse. With that pulse, can you take a micro bend into left knee? Pulse even higher. Release, right foot back down to the earth. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale, forward high plank. Down to the knees, child's pose. Walking those hands back, press onto the fingertips, lift the hips, baby camel. Lowering down, moving into upward facing dog as you roll the spine. Press to the tops of the feet, lift your quads, your knees, gaze over nose tip. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Inhaling, left leg lifts, strong, straight left leg, point the toes, start to pulse. No bend in that left knee. Straight arms, pressing down through fingertips, take a micro bend into right knee, lift left leg a little higher. Yes, your triceps will burn. Good. Whoo. Lower left foot down. Downward facing dog. Inhale forward, high plank. Bend the elbows, hover the chest halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. So your biceps, the front of the upper arm, spins back, away from the ears. Triceps, they hug down towards the backside of the body. So external rotation of the upper arms away from the ears. Look forward. Begin to walk. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine, hands to shins or to earth. Exhale, fold. Press your hands into the tops of your feet. Can you lift your heels gently? Inhale. Exhale, release, fold. Dangle the arms, begin to roll and rise all the way up to stand. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold it down. Lengthen on the inhale. Step your left foot back on the exhale. Get nice and long. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Take your block. Highest setting, take it to the corner of your block. You want to wedge it under the top of your left thigh. So not on the kneecap, right? Probably about halfway down, kneecap to hip. Keeping your fingertips rested on the earth. Can you engage through the left thigh? Pressing down through your left heel as you send your crown forward. What do you feel? Lift your left thigh away from the block. Take your block to the inside of your right foot. Seal left heel down, right hand to block, extended side angle. Back foot, pinky toe edge side of the foot is parallel to the back of the mat. So you can really feel that line of energy from outer foot running along the hip through the left fingertips as they stretch overhead, pressing right upper arm to right inner thigh. There's a revolution of the chest as you reach up, look up. Inhale, warrior 2 to rise. Reverse that left hand down, left thigh, right arm overhead. Keep that bend in your front right knee. Cartwheel your hands down, straighten right leg, Trikonasana. Right hand finds your block. Spiraling the chest. Stretch your crown towards the top of your mat as you press your left outer hip towards your left heel. So much length along your side waist here. Releasing left hand down towards the earth. Bend into your right knee, spin up onto your left toes. Take your block in your right hand, send your block or your heavy item up towards the sky. Reach your block back. Open up through the collarbones. Release your block down, step back, high plank. Shift the weight of your shoulders in front of your fingertips. Hover the chest halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your right leg lifts. Oh, right foot through between your hands. Warrior one. Seal your left heel down, heel and toe out. Rise it up. Reach the fingertips. Clasp your hands at your low back. Pull your knuckles down your back thigh. Humble warrior, folding to the inside of your right leg. Palms of hands squeeze towards one another as the shoulders open up. Hugging right hip back. Sending left thigh forward. Release your hands. High plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. 3 breaths. Gaze forward, look forward, walk or step or jump all the way up. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, rise it up. Hands to prayer, samastitihi, pause. Stretching the crown on the inhales. Rooting down through the inseams of the feet on the exhales. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Maybe a standing back bend, exhaling. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Send your right foot back. Get nice and long, find a block. Take it to its corner. Wedge the block, highest setting, about halfway down your right thigh. So ideally that block is like a gas pedal, so there's a slight diagonal. It's resting on the corner. So it moves with the body. Keep kicking your right heel down towards the mat. Send your crown towards the top of your mat. So yes, there is sensation here, but you're not collapsed. You're active through this shape. Taking that block away from right thigh to the inside of your left foot. It goes, seal your right foot down, extended side angle. As your left hand rests on your block. Pinky toe edge side of your right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Right shoulder stacking over the left. Feel the line of energy from outer right foot up the outer right hip, across the trap, through the arm, extending through the fingertips. Inhaling, warrior two. Reverse. Straighten your front left leg, Trikonasana. Left hand finds that block. Right arm up to the sky. Stack your shoulders. Spiral open from the chest. Tons of space here for the breath. Crown reaches. Right hip towards right heel. So how much length can you possibly get in the side waist? No crunching of the left side waist. So there's a slight lift out of that bottom hip. Right hand comes down to the earth. Bend into your left knee. Come onto your left toes. Grab the block in your left hand. Reach it overhead. Send it back, back, back. Space for the collarbones to spread so the breath can reach and expand every corner of your body, clearing out the rubbish. Release your block, high plank. Flow it down. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Left leg lifts. Left foot through warrior one. Right heel in, right toes out as you lift. Hips squared towards the top of the mat. Clasp your hands at your low back, lift from the heart, humble warrior, folding down to the inside of your left leg. And we have the tendency here to want to lean so much that our head reaches for right side of the mat. Draw it back. Can you kiss inner left thigh to upper left shoulder? Hugging left hip back, spinning right thigh forward. Release that high plank. Stay. Squeeze the glutes, core engaged, squeezing navel in, hip points in. Exhale, drop it to the belly. 3, 2, 1. Release your arms alongside the body. Let the body go. Focus here on the thighs. Press the thighs into the earth. Start to feel the glutes activate. Keeping that connection, thighs to earth, thighs to mat. Lift the backs of the hands, lift the shoulders. Keep the attention on the lower body. Keep pressing the thighs, squeezing the glutes, pressing the thighs, squeezing the glutes. Can you lift a little bit higher? Exhale it down. Belly, heart. Pressing down through belly, pressing down through heart. Press your palms into the earth, lifting the ankles, lifting the thighs. Press the belly, press the heart. Press the belly, press the heart. Exhale it down. Take your hands next to your chest. Downward facing dog. Ooh. Inhale your right leg to the sky. Point your toe. Start to pulse. Now bending the knee. Opening the hip. Take a micro bend into your left knee. Give yourself extra space to roll the hip bone around the hip joint. Maybe you flip into wild thing. Listening to the body, always taking its cues. Refining doesn't always mean more. Refining means finding what you need and adjusting accordingly. Right leg lifts. Step your right foot through, grab your block, wedge it under the top of your left thigh, right? Find that corner. Find the puzzle piece. And while there is that bit of work here, it should feel also somewhat comfortable. Yeah, so the block should feel very much like a facet of the body. Stay there with hands to earth or begin to walk your hands up right thigh. Maybe arm stretch overhead or clasp hands at the back of the skull. Listen in. Release. Take that block to the inside of your right foot as you seal left heel fully down, extended side angle. Keep the block in the right hands. Warrior 2, right away reverse. So we are using that block as an extra bit of weight to lengthen the side body. Block out in front of right foot, half moon, balancing on your right leg. Stacking the shoulders. Maybe you take a moment to gaze up. Staying there, playing with balance or bending into the left knee. Grabbing hold of the foot. Hip flexor variation. Stretching the psoas. Release left leg long. Coming into warrior 3 for just a moment. Left knee into chest. Stand tall. Cross left ankle at the top of right thigh. Sit back. Left knee into chest. Right hand to hip. Grab hold of left foot and left hand. Dancer's pose, not Tirajasana. As you begin to hover the chest. You may keep your right hand on your hip, draw it to your heart, or even reach it forward in Gyan Mudra, thumb and index resting. Release into warrior 1. Back foot, heel in, toe out, bend into your front knee. Humble it down. We are humble to this practice. We think we know so much, that ego. Who does this practice? Tell us what's up. We feel things in our body maybe we've not felt before. While finding also stillness in the mind like we've never felt before. And all of that comes together and we feel God, question mark? That you? Release your hands down, flow it on out, baby. Good job. Downward facing dog. Inhale, forward high plank. To the belly for 3, 2, 1. Open your fingertips wide. Elbows 90-degree angles. Inhale, oscillating cobra. Pumping up the chest like a wave. And relaxing. Three really solid, rejuvenating breaths. Take your hands next to your chest. Downward facing dog. Left leg to the sky. Send it up. Point your toe. Start to pulse. Gentle bend into right knee as you open up through the hips, bending into left knee. Taking some circles. Staying there or flipping. Wild thing. Coming on back, left leg to the sky. Stepping left foot through. Finding that block. Wedging it under the top of the thigh. Yeah. So finding that corner. Stay there with hands rooted or begin to walk and lift. Sending arms up. Biceps frame the ears or clasping the skull with the hands. Where do you feel this in your body? Even the breath. Release hands down. Take that block to the inside of your left foot, extended side angle. Spiral open from the chest. As you lift to warrior two, take that block with you in your left hand. Reverse. Extra length in left side waist. Half moon, use that block, plant it down to the top of your mat as you lift. Hips opening up. Staying there or bending into top right knee, grabbing hold of the foot for that extra bit of hip flexor love. Wherever you are, the breath is steady. And you're refining your way to that place so the breath can flow. Releasing for a moment, passing through warrior three, up to stands, right knee into chest. Cross right ankle over top of left thigh. All the way back up, dancer's pose. Grab hold of the inseam of your right foot as you begin to hover the chest. Warrior one to release. Clasp your hands at your low back. Humble. Humble. Humble we are. Humble we are to this path. Humble we are to know nothing, to be so divinely guided. May we trust fall into the abyss of consciousness, the web of connection. We can never be led astray. We are always led towards the highest truth of our being, of our livelihood. Of course, not without road bumps and lessons along the way to clear that karmic path, grow and evolve from it. Inhale, warrior one. Release your hands, flow it down. Exhale it down. Downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Be here for the exhale. Drop down to the knees, child's pose. Slow down the breath. We do that by taking larger, longer exhales. That could be a sigh through the mouth. Locking your hands in. Sit back to your heels. Take your blocks or your rolled up things, take them to the center of your mats. And you can also take a blanket over the tops of your blocks. You're going to come down right at the front point of your hips to rest on the blocks. So you find your way down, releasing your arms alongside the body. And you completely surrender. If you have one cheek down or one ear down, switch sides. Take an inhale and an exhale. Take your hands next to your chest. Press up, tabletop. Child's pose. Rest your forehead to a block. Send your arms back. In those moments of quiet, instead of seeking my voice or my direction, can you listen in for your voice, your direction, your inner knowing? I am simply your guide, but you are your ultimate authority. Send your breath to the back of your lungs. Bring your hands next to your chest, rise up. Moving all props to the side as you come down to your seat. And all the way onto your back. Go ahead and find your block again. Last time, lift your hips, sacrum to block. Maybe you even play around now with highest setting. You can also stack or place your blocks right next to each other so you have a much thicker support system instead of just like a real thin single block. And just like at the start of class, you may stay right here or left foot towards right hands. And it's just a rest here. So you're letting the outer left hip fall towards the earth, and there's a very minute but yummy stretch along the front of the left hip. It may be yummy to me, it may not be yummy to you. Yummy is subjective. You'll feel something. Take an inhale. Exhale. If you have had left foot, go ahead and release it. Switching sides, right foot to left hand. Rolling to outer right hip. Feeling this adductor stretch all the way up to the hip flexor. Inhale. Exhale. Unwind that. Lift your hips away from the blocks, move them out. Come on to the back, let your knees knock in. Place one hand to heart, one hand to belly. Can you give yourself even just a minute of complete silence? If that's staying right here or releasing into final Shavasana, that could be a seated meditation. Listen to what you need, what you desire to close your practice. You stay as long as you would like. This is where I will leave you. As always, my life's honor. Thank you so much.